The Tuesday, December the 13th regular meeting of the School Board of Charlotte County will hereby be called to order. Here in Charlotte County, we will achieve our vision of student success through our mission. We will provide an innovative educational environment that allows and inspires success for everyone. And on a personal note, thank you all for coming tonight. It's exciting to see the room filled and with such academic young people. To lead us in the pledge today, I'm going to ask Karen Laporte, who's actually going to be doing our report on the AP Scholars. So Karen, if you could come up and lead us in the pledge, and if the rest of you will stand and join us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Those of you who may watch us on TV or attend regularly may recognize that this is not our superintendent, Dr. Whitaker. He, however, is in the audience, but he provides our school district leaders with a training program, and so this is our assistant superintendent, Jerry Olivo, who's going to be pinch hitting tonight. So, Mr. Olivo, do we have any additions or corrections to tonight's agenda?
Yes, ma'am, we have three. Item F4 under reports, recognition of bus driver and aide. Item 2C1, personnel addendum number 1. And finally, item H1F, contracts and agreements. The agreement is with the Kennedy Center for an engagement.
So move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the three additions that were just read into the record. Is there any board discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries unanimously. We're going to start this evening with recessing, the meeting we just called to order. And we're going to call, this is for purposes of a public hearing. We're going to be having a public hearing on some school board policies. Mr. Olivo.
Yes, ma'am. As you know, school board policies, there are a number of them that I'm going to read off to you, and they were workshopped on numerous occasions. So for the record, we have policy 2260, non-discrimination and access to equal educational opportunity. 2370.01, virtual instruction program. 2416, student privacy and parental access to information. 2460, exceptional student education. 5111.02, educational opportunity for military children. 5136, electronic wireless communication devices. 5451, student recognition. And finally, 5780, student parent rights.
Are there any questions from any board members on those policies? I know that we have worked with them on more than one occasion at workshops, but I also know that those representatives from staff are here in the audience if there's any questions. Seeing none? Are there any citizens who wish to speak tonight on any of these policies? All right, seeing none. If there's no objection, I will close the public hearing and resume the regular meeting. Mr. Superintendent, do we have a recommended action?
Yes, ma'am. The superintendent recommends approval of the school board policies as previously read into the record.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded by everyone. Yeah. We approve the board policies for revision that were previously read into the record. Is there any board discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And that motion carries unanimously. Reports. We have 4 tonight. Mr. Olivo?
Yes, ma'am. I'd like to ask Karen Laporte, our Director of Secondary Education, to come up to the podium. She's going to recognize the instructors for advanced placement and the students for advanced placement. And if you could join me at the... And if Dr. Whitaker would also join us.
Much better. Thank you. Always on me. Good evening, Madam Chair, school board members, Mr. Olivio and Dr. Whitaker. I had to put them both in there because I'm not sure the protocol. And Mrs. Young. As you know, and audience and welcome visitors, as you know, one of the most successful secondary programs in the Charlotte County Public School System is our Advanced Placement Program. Once again, AP 2011 shined brightly. Charlotte County Public School qualified in 4 of the 5 AP District Honor Roll Award areas analyzed annually by the College Board. What are our statistics? And by the way, these were sent to me last week from Yvonne Mendolia. She's the K-12 College Board Director for our district. In 2011, we increased our number of students in AP courses by 5%, which translates into 19 additional AP students over the 2010 school year. In 2011, that was 1 point, there's 5 of them. In 2011, we increased the percentage of total students, this is an important one, scoring 3 or higher from 67% to 71%. Side note, this is while the state of Florida average was at 49%, and the global, now we're talking worldwide average, was 60%. Charlotte County, 71%. Pretty impressive. In 2011, we maintained that 13% of the exams taken were by minority students. So we were the same in 2010 and 11. And then increased the percentage of minority students scoring a 3 or higher from 64 to 73%. And that's a big jump. And finally, we had approximately 10, and finally, this is the other point, this is the one we didn't make, had approximately 10 more students been enrolled in our AP classes, we would have made the College Board Honor Roll again this year, which we did last year. For 2011, only 2 school districts qualified for this prestigious honor out of 67 school districts, and we only missed it in Charlotte County by 1%. We'll get it right, though. We're pulling the numbers, so we're going to know what to shoot for next time. This year, we will be honoring both the teachers and our students, while Superintendent Whitaker and the school board members step in front of the panel, but we know we're an advanced school district, so they're already here. I am asking that the AP teachers being honored tonight, we're going to start with Port Charlotte. Please approach the front panel and stand here to congratulate the students from Port Charlotte High. So the teachers, you'll be called later, but first you get to come up here. Students, please approach your principal, who will be standing over on this side. That's Mr. Steve Dionisio, in case they weren't sure, for the certificate. And then shake everyone's hand. And if there is a picture to be taken, it will be taken over here. So parent, if you're in for that, you'd want to be down, because they're going to walk around here, students, and then they're going to walk through that open area on the side. And then they'll walk back to their seat. Okay? This got changed a little bit because I didn't know Dan was sitting in the audience. So I said, beginning in reverse alpha order with Lemon Bay. But anyway, we've got Mr. Dionisio up here, and we're ready to go. So it is with great pride that I introduce to you the 2010-11 school year committed, hardworking, and talented students who have made the Charlotte County Public Schools Advanced Placement Program the best in the world. I mean, pretty amazing. Before I do that, I just want to say this is exams week. So although there were like pages of kids, there are 2 reasons why you only see a few of them here. AP last year is taken by 11th and 12th graders last year primarily. There are a couple sophomores that are on the sheet from last year. But those 12th graders are now in colleges, so they won't be here tonight. The other issue is because the current 12th graders, who were last year's 11th graders, have final exams, these families made an extra effort and appreciate it to come here and be recognized. So it doesn't matter. On behalf of all their students that they represent, we're going to call the names of the juniors, and when you hear your name, please come through. The seniors, we will get them their certificates. So AP Scholars, this first group granted to students who receive scores of 3 or higher, and remember it's on a score of 5, that's high as you can get. You get college credit if you hit 3, 4, or 5. So granted to students who receive a score of 3 or higher on 3 or more AP exams. These are not your single students. These are taking multiple exams. Andrew Moore, Nicole Rockauer, Magdala St. Louis. You can, when you pass by, if you'd like to say it real loud for us. Magdala. Sorry, dear. and Nicholas Stampar. So Magdala represents all AP scholars at Port Charlotte High School. AP scholars with honors: Julia DePronio, Hannah Lee, Alan Poudret, Danielle Rio, and Amara Sonneborg. Oh, good, we have two. Yes, Hannah's here. And we have Alan, and we have Amara. Now, let me read to you while they're coming behind me. AP scholars with honors. These are granted to students who receive an average score of at least 3.25, so now the score goes up on all exams taken, and scores of 3 or more on 4 or more of the exams. Guys, let's see if I can call one of them. Hannah, how many AP exams did you take in your history?
4.
Okay, so you've gotten 3 or higher in all 4 of those. Anybody taken more than 4? Okay, 4 exams is pretty hefty. I mean, I didn't take any in school. I don't know if you did. I'm just impressed with the kids. I just love having the kids here. Okay, and then our final AP scholar with distinction, we did have one that is a current senior, Samantha Luce. Just listen to this, and you'll see some from the other schools. Granted to students who receive an average score of at least 3.5 on all AP exams and scores of 3 or higher on 5 or more of these exams. And then Port Charlotte High School does have a national AP scholar. This is granted to a student in the United States who receives an average of 4 on all their AP exams ever taken and scores of 4 or higher on 8 or more of these exams, and that was Rebecca Minogue. Let's hear it for Port Charlotte High School kids. And we'll do the teachers now from Port Charlotte High School. So Principal Dionisio would probably stand here to best make this happen. This is the problem when we do the first new traditions. And first we want to honor in chemistry AP teacher Cynthia Dunham-Durheimer. Oh, by the way, while they're getting honored, they had, in order to be standing in front of you, because each of these schools runs like 10 to 15 AP classes, these teachers had to have more than 50% of their students pass with college credit. So that's pretty amazing. So they're doing AP, and they're being very successful with the kids. So these are our best and brightest teachers. Don Hellenbach for physics. We have Dr. Eric Bishop, who teaches English language comp and English literature comp. And we have Tiffany Coffey, studio art design and studio art drawing, both of those, Tiffany Coffey. And Bert Cass is AP human geography. And let's congratulate Port Charlotte High School teachers. Charlotte High School. Mr. Duffy's going to come up to the area here, and we have teachers from Charlotte High School. Please come to the front. Now we've been through it once, we're good. Okay, we're going to start with our AP scholars. These students receive 3 or higher and 3 or more exams. Caitlin Fanstill, Zachary Fraun. So we saw Caitlin get up, so I know she's here. Michaela Gleason, Camille Heracall. Are you Camille, dear? Okay, that's Michaela. So we have Caitlin and Michaela coming across. Camille, called her name, Cole Kessling. Nadia Kimmel. Laura Knitsky. Grant Lawrence. Margaret Magdalena. Roberto Molinera. Nicole Pete. Nathan Sapalsing, Kaylin Stubbs, Maria Tierney, and Thomas Turney. Okay, these are AP scholars with honors from Charlotte High School, granted to students 3.25 on 4 or more of these exams. Scott Barnett, Ariana Chiracello, Christopher Constance, Max Helgmo, Austin Hunter, Matthew Keebler, Ann Moering, McGuire Peters, these guys are probably studying, Rachel Petrosky, Andrew Polizzi, and Bailey Wojcik. Wow, we don't even have a rep. You got kids. Thank you for coming, but we want to get more of you here because you're our motivation, our passion for doing what we do. AP Scholars with Distinction, granted to students who receive at least a 3.5 on all AP exams and a score of 3 or higher on 5 or more. Matthew Ferensky, Taylor Mack, Nicole Miller, Hadley O'Neill, and Clifford Rice. And I do want to take a moment to again say Charlotte High School had 2 national AP scholars, too. And they're graduated, but granted to students in the United States who receive an average of score of at least 4 in all exams, and they had to get 4 or higher on 8 or more of these exams. Derek Gomez and John Efasades. Say it again. Estafiades. He makes it sound easy. All right, so while they're up here representing all their kids and teachers, I want to take time to recognize Rick Weston, who teaches AP U.S. History and AP European History. He's all about both of those areas. So, and then we have AP Human Geography and AP Econ Macro, Andrea Tarlowski. So let's hear it for Charlotte High School kids and teachers. Lemon Bay teachers to the front. There's the kids and then the teachers. All right, now we know how this works. So we will go. AP Scholars, this 3 or more on 3 exams. Angelica Connor. Yay. She's smiling. Victoria Deutsch. Victoria. Adam Knight. Adam Lipford, Sean Malencia, Max Plank, Christine Royal, Tessa Saveni, Joseph Wojcik. Okay, we have our AP Scholars with Honors at 3.25. And scores of 3 or higher on 4 or more exams. Lok Chan, Emily Delaney, Kellen Karbach, Shane Mangold, Rebecca Montgomery. Is this Shane? Okay. Representing all AP Scholars with Honors from Lemon Bay. AP Scholars with Distinction. Students who received at least a 3.5 average on all exams taken and a score of 3 or higher on 5 or more. Jill Bowen, Lauren DeLeon, Marissa Hall, Monica Kolb. Okay, we got Monica representing all AP Scholars with Distinctions from Lemon Bay High School. And if we could have our principal, Dan Jeffers, bring the teacher certificates over here between the teachers. If you could stand there. Good. And we're going to recognize, Julie's not here, Chris Kuhn. Okay, so we have AP Calculus AB, Christopher Kuhn. We have AP English, Literature, and Composition, Bonnie Powell. And we have U.S. History AP teacher. No, Scott Hall. But okay, so this is AP Human Geography teacher, Jesse Sutton. Let's hear it for Lemon Bay teachers and students. Again, I want to take a moment to recognize these outstanding students and teachers. Thank you to everyone and families, especially for coming tonight. And kids, keep up the good work. Teachers, thank you so much.
Just one more, an exclamation point at the end of all of this. The state of Florida last year ranked 2nd in the United States for performance on AP exams. Congratulations, state of Florida. Charlotte County last year ranked 4th in the state of Florida, which puts us right near the very top. And we had actually slipped a little bit a year ago. We had been number 1 in Florida for 2 years. We haven't gotten our ranking yet this year, but our scores were up. We're hoping we're back up to number 1 in Florida, who's number 2 in the United States. So we're in great company. Kids, great job. Teachers, thank you for your dedication. Good job.
Okay. Caitlin Corbin is a junior sitting in the front row from Lemon Bay, and I'm so happy she spoke up because we don't want to forget her, and we have her certificate on my clipboard, so I apologize we didn't get that up here for you. Please come up and shake at least our hands and let me get the certificate. So.
And Caitlin's a junior, which even makes it a bigger deal. She did a great job.
We'll see you again next year. We're going to name you first. All right, next item on the agenda is the third report, Master Fitness Award recognition.
Yes, ma'am. This is the third year that the Master Fitness Program has been in place, and I'd like to ask...
It's the fourth year.
Oh, is it the
His hand went up.
fourth year? Four, Richard? All right, fourth year. I apologize for that. And so I'd like to ask Mr. Duckworth, our Director of Transportation, to come up to the podium.
It would be okay if you wanted to move forward, any of you, and fill in those seats. Chief, there's a seat for you right up front here. You want us to come down?
No.
Yeah, okay, we will.
No.
If you want us to. It's Master Fitness, it's a big deal. We're gonna just,
Are we going?
Shall we go back down?
Yes, we shall. Yeah. Thank you for moving up. Star students.
So physical fitness, board members, Mr. Olivo, Dr. Whitaker, Councilman. Physical fitness is one of the three pillars for any individual's wellness. In addition to physical fitness, there's mental toughness and also the spiritual aspect. But tonight we're going to celebrate physical wellness. 4 years ago, the district, with some encouragement, decided that maybe we would try a way to give individuals an opportunity to take a look at themselves and see where they are in some measurable fashion in terms of their physical wellness. The idea being that if you're physically healthy, mentally strong, and spiritually strong, you're going to be an effective member of the team and seek and be strong in achieving student success. So for the fourth year, on November 19th, the sun had barely crested the horizon as the intrepid few walked across the dew-drenched grass. A slight breeze rippled the surface of the Peace River. As the sky grew brighter, they made ready to face their individual challenges and to cheer on the efforts of others. At 7 a.m., the pushing began. By 8:30, everyone had met the challenge. This evening, we recognize 4 of those intrepid few. These 4 demonstrated a level of physical fitness worthy of honor. Their scores met the standard for either one of the coveted Master Fitness badges or the highly regarded Master Fitness medal. Help me tonight to celebrate their achievements. First is Christina Robichaud. She earned a bronze badge. However, her husband forced her to go to a basketball game tonight, and so she was unable to be present for tonight's presentation. Next, we have Miss Lisa Bushy, who also earned the coveted bronze Master Fitness badge. Lisa. The next individual has participated at each of the 4 Master Fitness events over the past years and has always been an outstanding performer. She, in fact, has several medals. This year she competed even though she was struck down by an injury which slowed her running time slightly and unfortunately kept her out of that top category, and yet even injured, she met the standards for a gold Master Fitness badge. Ms. Cheryl Reitzman. Nice job, nice job. And tonight we do have 1 gold medal winner. Someone who this was the 2nd year they participated in the event and was able to come up with 280 points out of a possible 300 to achieve the gold medal. And I'm real pleased to introduce a 2nd member of the transportation team who participated this year, Miss Carol Pike. Next year, as the sun barely crests the horizon and the gentle breeze ripples the surface of the Peace River, I hope to see more of you joining us in November. Thank you very much.
Our 4th report is about one of our drivers and one of our aides, and I'd like to ask Mr. Duckworth to come back to the podium. We can only imagine what he'll have to say for this particular report.
As the sun rises.
Barely cresting, barely cresting. Yes, sir, barely cresting. Dew drenched, but that's you've got to have the picture. I'd like to ask Chief Didio to join me, and also Mr. Scott Meyer and Miss Alma Grant, if you'd come on up. It is safe. We frequently hear stories of people who observe a situation, a crisis, a tragedy, and acknowledge it, then keep on going. We've passed accidents, and no one stops to help. You hear about people all the time that are in trouble and are passed by. But tonight we get to celebrate 2 people who made a different decision. And I'm thrilled to death to be able to introduce them to you. I'm going to read you a quote, and then I'm going to pass the mic over to Chief Didio, but I want you to know why they're here. It is, in my opinion, these 2 individuals' quick actions prevented this incident from becoming a tragedy. Signed, Dennis R. Didio, Fire Chief. Heroes.
Thank you. Madam Chair, board members, thank you for asking me here tonight. But I came here tonight to honor 2 people in the bus transportation department. And I just can't go into too much in reference to the incident because it was a medical incident and medical confidentiality. But I'd like to take this opportunity tonight to recognize 2 of the county school board employees from the bus transportation division who assisted on an emergency medical call that took place on Tuesday, November 29th at 9:10 a.m. It is my understanding that on the above-mentioned date, bus driver Scott Meyer and bus aide Alma Grant were on their normal bus route when the bus approached the intersection of Midway Boulevard and US 41. They had stopped at a red light when Mr. Meyer noticed a female in a nearby vehicle who appeared to be in distress and experienced some type of medical emergency. The two bus transportation personnel activated the 911 system for fire and EMS response, then immediately positioned the bus behind the patient's vehicle with the bus emergency lights to protect the scene. Mr. Meyer approached the vehicle and placed the vehicle gear shift in the parked position. Ms. Grant stayed in constant radio communication with their dispatch, and Mr. Meyer remained on the scene to provide the much-needed information to our emergency responders that arrived. These two individuals' quick actions prevented this incident from becoming a tragedy. What happens most of the time is when somebody has a medical emergency, especially driving a motor vehicle, it ends up in a serious crash or a fatality or can end up with several vehicles involved. My sincere thanks go out to Mr. Meyer and Ms. Grant and the Charlotte County School Board Transportation Division for their assistance. This incident is just one example of the importance of proper training with your agency, which provides this type of training to their employees. So I'd like to give each one a certificate from the department. And first I'd like to start out by reading it. It says Charlotte County Fire and EMS in recognition presented to Amada Grant, life-saving efforts on November 29, 2011. Charlotte County Fire and EMS in recognition award presented to Scott Meyer for his life-saving efforts on November 29. Again, it's these type of people who are out there on the road every day that stop to help another citizen of Charlotte County or somebody passing through the county that stops these types of tragedies or things that happen. And again, we'd like to thank you very much for your assistance in helping us out that day. Thank you.
These two individuals represent every bus driver in Charlotte County. We have eyes everywhere. And fortunately, in this situation, those eyes helped avert what could have been a much worse situation. So we also have certificates signed by the superintendent. We'd like to present certificate of recognition presented to Scott Meyer for outstanding professionalism and attention while operating bus 0710 on 29 November 2011. Your actions in recognizing and responding to a medical emergency taking place in another vehicle while on your route averted a potential disaster and contributed directly to a rapid response by the emergency medical service. You reflect the compassion, quick thinking, and training that marks the Charlotte County Public Schools transportation team. Given this 13th day of December 2011, Douglas K. Whitaker, Superintendent. And Ms. Grant says the same thing, and I just can't read it again. Thank you.
That's what I checked. We're good. Just gonna give it a minute. Mr. Superintendent, do we have any old business to come before the board this evening?
No, ma'am.
And under new business, the consent agenda as amended.
Yes, ma'am. The superintendent recommends approval of the consent agenda and amendment as presented this evening.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the consent agenda as amended. Is there any board discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries unanimously. Action agenda, item A, the Lemon Bay High School remodel, renovation and new construction phase 4A.
Yes, ma'am. As we continue the construction at Lemon Bay, the 4A portion of it is the cafeteria and ties into the 3-story, which, as you know, will be having our ribbon cutting on January 3rd between 4 and 4:30, so please join us. For your information, we have in the audience this evening Mr. Mike Wood, the Executive Vice President of Balfour Beatty, our construction manager, and Alan Silver, the Vice President of Balfour Beatty, and we welcome them this evening. The superintendent recommends approval of the Lemon Bay High School remodeling, renovation, and new construction phase 4A as submitted.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the Lemon Bay High School remodel renovation phase 4A. Any board discussion? I just want to make sure that the board knows how thrilled Englewood community is that we continue to have at least some more progress. The gym, in fact, I was at a basketball game last night, so obviously people are going to be talking about the gym. But they said, you know what, you guys said when it was going to be done, and it was done. And we got to move in when you said we were going to move in, and they were just kind of shocked because that isn't what they're used to, not from the school district, but from other entities. So I just want to put forth my appreciation to Balfour Beatty and continued positive working relationship and to your department, Mr. Olivo, because it's important that we all are working together here. So further board discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Now we'll move to phase 4B of the Lemon Bay High School remodel, the music and drama suite. Mr. Olivo.
Yes, ma'am. Again, the superintendent recommends approval as submitted this evening.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve phase 4B, Lemon Bay High School remodel, renovation, music and drama suite to add to the collection of buildings going on out there. Any board discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And that motion carries unanimously. Last item on the action agenda is personnel action and job description as amended.
Yes, ma'am. The superintendent recommends approval of the personnel action and job description and amendment as submitted this evening.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we approve the personnel action job description as amended. Any board discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And that motion carries unanimously. Citizen comment. Are there any citizens who wish to speak before the board today? All right. Attorney comment. Ms. Young. Mrs. Young.
Happy holidays and see you next year.
All right. Board member comment. Mr. Swift.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I think we had an excellent session last week and week before last in Tampa at the state meeting. Glad all of you could be there. Had some very positive feedback on many of the sessions as well as the keynote speakers. It turned out to be a very positive session, and I hope that the next one in January, that for day in the legislature, will be equally as positive. To all, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and we'll see you all next year.
Thank you. And what Mr. Swift was referring to is the Florida School Boards Association annual joint conference with superintendents. And it was really our privilege as board members to see the Charlotte High School charisma performing singers come up to Tampa and perform for the state association. You did a fine job as the presider of the conference, Mr. Swift.
Thank you.
Mr. Vincent.
Presider.
Didn't you preside over the conference?
He was the presider. That's
He
it.
was. I know because if you ask him, he'll tell you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I presided. Not a whole lot. I just wanted to
sure everybody's going to talk about it, but Dr. Whitaker stated the district address that we had last week was phenomenal. I think the turnout could have been better, but the people that were there all learned something. I think everybody sitting up here actually learned some stuff. I think for the first year of the event, it was a great start, and I think it's something that we're going to be able to grow, hopefully to the point where we don't fit in that room anymore, because the best thing we can do for our schools is get the word out to the community about what we're doing. And also, Dr. Whitaker was on the radio today, for those of you that got to hear it, and it was wonderful and intelligent as always. So we'll take that one every time, won't we? And happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and all that good stuff, and everybody be safe in your travels.
Mrs. Miller.
Okay, I just want to wish everyone well-deserved, safe, and enjoyable holiday. That's it.
Mrs. Rendell.
Merry Christmas to all. See you Thursday at the Academy graduation.
Yes.
And then Lemon Bay High School, like Mr. Olivo said, on the 3rd of January for that ribbon cutting. And this is kind of an inside thing having to do with the conference last week. But Mr. Swift, you're my hero, too.
I'm sorry.
Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Your turn will come.
I wanted to make mention of our local Home Depot over, it used to be much closer than it is now, and I don't even know what street it's on now. Is it Cochran over there?
Yeah.
The Home Depot, in case you didn't know this, wrote a grant with the Academy, and the middle school program, Dr. Widmeyer, those students were out there. They called it the Home Depot Grant Plant. And if you were to walk over there now, what you would see are some very large planters that some of the tech classes built, and then plants that were put into them. The Home Depot had a crew over there. They must have had 8 or 10 employees over there volunteering for the day. The middle school kids were helping them, and they had helped design and install the border. I'm sorry, I'm not the professional here, but the borders around the planting areas. Anyway, it's beautiful, and if you walk over there, you'll notice in the front difference. You'll notice they have a recreational seating area with tables and with umbrellas, and it's all due to the Home Depot grant plant. It was more than $6,000 that they put in over there. And what one of the managers from Home Depot told me was that by doing that grant plant, they then submit pictures of what they did, and it makes them eligible for a possible $25,000 grant. So I'm writing a letter on behalf of the district thanking them for their partnership and sending it up to important district people in the Home Depot organization in the hopes that I could have some small influence over the decision on how to spend that additional $25,000 grant monies. So shout out to the Home Depot, and we really appreciate their partnership. And other than that, Mr. Olivo, you did a fine job this week. I know that you were, to say you were conscientious is a understatement. I know that you were on top of everything all the time, and I hope that you valued the learning experience.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I did, and it was quite enjoyable. First, I want to thank Dr. Whitaker for the opportunity for growth. Second, I'd like to thank my colleagues for their support and encouragement, Dr. Widmeyer, Mrs. Mellinson specifically, and Mr. Greiner and Mr. Brasser for not razzing me too much or heckling from the audience. Thank you. And certainly last but not least, I'd like to thank the board members for their patience as we reviewed each item individually. And last but not least, happy holidays to all. May all your wishes come true in the coming year.
Dr. Whitaker, did you have anything you wanted to add? I do. I hate to have you in the audience and not recognize you.
And I will be brief. But there is something I want to share with you. This Thursday morning, Saul Rubenstein, a professor at Rutgers University, and an associate are arriving to do a 2-day information gathering piece of research on the Charlotte County Public Schools CFEA, CCSPA partnerships. Rutgers is researching 6 districts nationwide, now 7, including us, digging into what value academically are these partnerships, partnership agreements. So we're looking forward to being part of this rather prestigious study that is going on. And so I'm going to invite the 5 board members, if you want an opportunity to sit and talk with Saul for 10-15 minutes, simply let me know, send me an email, and I'll schedule some time sometime during the day on Thursday or Friday until 1 o'clock. He needs to leave to fly back or to go back to Tampa to catch a plane. But we're excited about this opportunity. It's not only nice to be recognized as one of 7 districts in the United States worthy of being studied, but I'm also anxious to see the results of the study, see what we can do better as a result. Again, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, and whatever else you might celebrate. Have a great holiday season. And thank you.
Thank you. Just give me 1 second here. Well, then, with that, if there's nothing else to come before the board this evening, may you enjoy your holidays with those whom you love. Be safe, and we'll see you in the new year. Meeting adjourned.